Hi everyone, it's your friend Doris Thecoder back with another video. If you are new to my channel, welcome. If this is your first time here, welcome back. Um, in today's video, and I don't do response videos, and I get reaction videos, but I guess this is a response video. I never want to lose an opportunity to share some experience or insight or knowledge that maybe I learned the hard way or success stories that might make it easier for you. So you can pause this to read the whole thing if you want. I won't read it to it, but the purpose of this video is really to help you as a practice, whether you're in network, out of network, hospital based, uh, physician office based, private practice, whatever, help you get compensated properly, especially when you've done everything right. I'm all about what's compliant. I changed my whole marketing years ago because in digging into practices and compliance, I realized sometimes after I came, you made less money if you were getting money the wrong way before that. So this is going to help you with, I guess, some advanced collection techniques. So I'll give you a backstory with this. Again, you can pause and read this on your own. Trigger warning, I'm going to try to stay focused because stuff like this really does make me itch. It bugs me. My nostrils flare a little bit because I feel like it's very wrong and it's intentional and it just Woosa. So this is a practice who hired a new provider. They did everything they should have, dotted every I, crossed every T, did all the paperwork for all of the payers. The singular payer looks like they maybe made an issue regarding the provider's tax ID. And for about a 6 month period, you figure April to September, yeah, about a 6 month period, a lot of claims, they did not pay the practice because of the error made by the insurance company. Out of all the claims that were owed, they only paid for 10 as of 1-0. They didn't say the number that was involved, but significantly it's much more. The provider representative has since become unresponsive. So I'll start this video by asking the questions that answering the questions this person asked, and that's what else can I do? Are there any agencies that advocate for providers when insurance companies do things like this? Hey, we just want them to fix their mistake. Give me some suggestions. So, ma'am, here you go. I've got 6 steps of what you can do if you have a payer doing this nonsense. One, they're contracted, they're enrolled, they need to review their agreement. Review your provider agreement. Within it, it should indicate what grievance process you can take, official grievance process. Believe it or not, you can make a lot of calls, you can send a lot of emails to reps. That is not the official grievance process as indicated in your contract. So step one, review your agreement, see if are any steps indicated and what the steps are for filing a grievance on behalf of your provider. That's step one. When you review that contract, I'm assuming you probably brought this new provider on all products. I'm not sure what products you take, but you need to identify the products in your contract. Meaning, Blue Cross and Blue Shield is a great example. Blue Cross and the Blue Shield Association participates in all 50 states, right? So not only do they participate in all 50 states, this is Arizona, they also participate in different markets, meaning Blue Cross and Blue Shield can participate in the Medicare business, in the Medicaid business, they can participate in the marketplace business, as well as private insurance and group insurance, okay? So that means as an employer like FedEx, they can offer them a plan to cover all of the FedEx employees, that's group. As an individual, I can go to Blue Cross and Blue Shield because I'm self-employed and buy a policy for me and my family straight from Blue Cross and Blue Shield. That's private insurance. You can also have a self-insured plan, right? Where I can say, hey, I'm a company, I've got enough money where maybe I don't want to pay the premium so much to an insurance company. I want to be self-insured, right? I want to pay my own claims and bills, but I'm going to like lease your network and borrow it so you can reprice claims, potentially even help me with some administrative matters, but all of the money is coming out of my pocket directly, self-insured. You need to identify the products. Because when you get to these steps, I'm going to tell you in a few, it is going to matter what product that is involved in your claims that aren't getting paid. Once you identify the products, you want to quantify the amounts by products. This is where a lot of death happens, right? This is where a lot of these initiatives die on the front desk. If you look in your practice management system, and this can be a process improvement tip for you if you're in practice management or billing management or revenue cycle or whatever. If you look in your system and you look at a payer like Blue Cross and Blue Shield or Aetna or United or Cigna, those are big payers that actually participate in multiple products. And when you look in your insurance list, if you have one of them or you have multiple and you can identify them by product, meaning Cigna, HMO, PPO, etc., commercial, Cigna, Medicare Advantage, Blue Cross and Blue Shield, community, which in Illinois is the Medicaid product, group. If you can't identify with that level of granularity, this is never going to help you, right? Because you want to be able to quantify how much money is outstanding by each product under that contract. That takes me to step 4. Now, remember what I said. This lady sent a lot of emails and calls, and probably, if she's smart, has all of her documentation. So gather that. When did you call? Who did you speak with? What was the date? What was, time, whatever. What's the extension, the result, the reference number, whatever information you have. But again, that's not the grievance process. So if you do that for 6 months, and you don't follow the official grievance process, we've still not gotten to a point where you can escalate. So gather all of your documentation in a nice, neat bow now that you've quantified your claims by product. After that, number 5, you've got to follow the internal official grievance process as listed. If you take Medicaid, for example, and this patient has a Medicaid Advantage plan, you can file a complaint with Medicaid. However, Medicaid will require that you exhaust the internal process, keep the documentation, and then send it to them so they can go ahead and track. Medicaid monitors the performance of those Medicaid Advantage plans. Medicare monitors the performance of Medicare Advantage plans. The insurance commissioner monitors the performance of things like Marketplace and certain group plans. So that becomes really important to have that level of granularity. Again, your front desk can be really integral here because it blows my mind how some practices don't get insurance cards, right? The insurance cards will tell you what the product type is, right? Where you can allocate that appropriately in the system. And that is so important when we get to these steps that we talk about. So after you follow the internal grievance process and you have all of the granularity with the plan type, you can move to step 6, and that's escalation with the appropriate party. This is external. We have now said payer. We've done everything we can per our contract, per our agreement. We've tried to work it out with you. We're done. I like to put them on notice. Pursuant to our contract and the grievance process, you have X number of days before we file a complaint here, and the paperwork's already done. They give you a number, you can track that number, and that number you can use to escalate with the appropriate department, but if the appropriate party. But if you don't know who the appropriate party is because you've not gathered the products to know what that looks like, you're dead in the water. Because I cannot go to the Office of Insurance, and one of the recommendations given to this lady by one of the folks on the forum was file a complaint with the insurance commissioner. That's not inaccurate, that's incomplete, however, because if I go to the Department of Insurance, which is a state level organization, if I go to the Department of Insurance for a Medicare or a Medicaid plan, they have zero jurisdiction. It also helps to gather and quantify because based on the dollar amount in question for that product, it'll determine where it goes, whether they can help you at the insurance commissioner or it has to be further escalated with someone like in my state is ACA and Maximus. I'm in Florida. So what they're able to do is going to vary based on the amount that we're dealing with. You'd be amazed what movement you can get just by filing a complaint with the insurance commissioner for the ones that are valid. Sometimes they get involved in the fact that they're involved. A call to the payer will fix all that for you. Like, wait a second, yeah, this is Doris Brinker calling with the Department of Insurance regarding this provider and this claim and whatever. They're like, oh my gosh, if you can never get a manager on the phone, a director, the higher ups to get your issue fixed, get one of those calls from the insurance commissioner when they're relevant, and it'll work. But again, they don't do everything. So I have to know the details about what is the plan type, what's the plan product, and even granularity, even if it's a fully insured versus a self-insured group plan. That could change what my rights are. I might say, hey, they broke the pay law. Like Florida has a prompt pay law. They have to pay clean claims within a certain time. I can say, hey, they didn't follow the prompt pay law. It does not matter if they're self-insured. The prompt pay law does not apply to self-insured plans. So you've got to know that, though, so you know how to escalate. So if you are a practice who has dotted every I, crossed every T, done everything you're supposed to, one, don't wait 6 months. Don't wait 6 months. This is why you have to keep an eye on your claims, your reimbursement, your payments, your denials. Do not wait 6 months for a payer to do what they're supposed to do. Just, and I don't know, maybe you're more patient than I am. I work very hard for my money. And when I was an employee, I felt I worked very hard. As now an employer, I still work very hard. I don't want to wait 6 months, a year for money that's owed to me when I'm showing up and I'm doing the work every day. That I just don't have. I have a spirit of charity, but not in that regard. So if you are a practice who's going through this, follow those steps. To recap, you're going to first review your agreement. It's very important you review your agreement for the terms that you need to follow there. Review your provider agreement fully. Identify the products involved in your denial. So that'll take some tracking and some reporting. This is also why you have to have a really good practice management system. Some of them are not great, even though some of the ones that are really popular, the reporting is not great, and you'll realize how great they're not once you get into needing the reports that you can't run. Quantify the amounts by product. In this case, they're all Blue Cross and Blue Shield Arizona. That is the plan, the insurance carrier. That's not the product. So how much of that is Medicare replacement? How much of that is commercial? How much of that is Medicaid, for example? So quantify the amounts by product, gather all of your documentation, follow the internal grievance process. After you get all your documentation together, draft a letter. I let them know what the steps are. What steps you've already followed following their official grievance process. That means if you got to write it, send a letter, certified mail. If it's a portal they allow you to do, whatever that process is, follow that. And then set a clock, put a reminder in your calendar, escalate with the appropriate party by product. Your single contract may offer 4 different options, for example, based on the products that you deal with. Okay, so hopefully this video helps you. The only way I think as practice managers or consultants that we can stop this kind of nonsense, and again, I said work with me because woosah, it's making me itch, to get this thing to stop is if we don't allow it. And I think I can sympathize with the practice managers and the billers, especially if you're a practice manager, where you're dealing with provider issues and patient issues and staff issues and reimbursement issues and administrative issues and just keeping the practice running. You really run out of hours before you can address all of this. But one of the ways to stop payers from doing this is letting them know as it relates to your practice that it's going to be a go preceded by a no. So I'm your friend Doris Thecoder signing out. You know what I say, like it if you do. If you find the information helpful or know someone who can, feel free to share it. And if you want to know when I post as often as I can, although as not as much as I want to. Go ahead and sign up, subscribe and sign up for notifications. And until the next video, I'll see you then. I'm Doris Thecoder signing out.